I said. Handmade, World War II, feel the quality. And the woman said, I will take it. And my friend was absolutely gobsmacked because,
very surprised, yeah.
Because she had never sold anything more than £1 or £2.
How much is 5 guineas?
£5.50.
All right.
In today's, but this was we'd come into the decimal system in 1971.
Yeah.
About £5.50. But, okay. So you bought at 40 pence and you sold at £5.50. That was a good profit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought, I'm going to do that.
All right. We'll come back with this and continue the saga after a 2-minute break.
Directo desde el aula 45, donde está teniendo lugar las pruebas de nivel para el Executive Master en inglés profesional.
Can we go on with the level test now?
Sí, por favor, adelante.
Okay, tell me to speak slowly.
Speak slowly.
What did you tell me to do?
I told you to speak slowly.
Good. The bed was so heavy that I couldn't lift it. Why couldn't I lift it?
You couldn't lift the bed because it was so heavy.
Very good. It was such spicy food that I couldn't eat it. Why couldn't I eat the food?
Because the food was so spicy.
Very good. If you had enough time, would you travel around the world?
If I had enough time, I would travel around the world.
Okay. Ask me if I would take an aspirin if I had a headache.
Would you take an aspirin if you had a headache?
Very good. Would you take English classes if your English were perfect?
No, I wouldn't take English classes if my English were perfect.
Great. How many windows did you break yesterday?
I didn't break any.
Okay. And so far today?
I haven't broken any.
Okay, perfect. Ask me if I remembered to go to work yesterday.
Did you remember to go to work yesterday?
No, I didn't go to work yesterday because it was Sunday. Good job.
Y así es una prueba de nivel para la Executive Master en inglés profesional. Por cierto, es 100% gratuita, así que puedes venir a hacer la tuya sin ningún tipo de compromiso. Rompe la barrera de la comunicación e impulsa tu carrera con nuestro Executive Master en inglés profesional. Llama ya al 91-133-5833 y reserva tu cita para hacer una prueba de nivel. 91-133-5833.
Devolvemos la conexión al estudio.
All right, we're back on the air with Juliana and with our good friend Marilu, and they have a lot in common, eh? Juliana is a consummate, independent woman who has done what she wanted and enjoyed life, and Marilu is on her way to achieving the same thing.
I'm learning.
You're learning.
That. Yes,
right.
I'm on the way.
Aeronautical engineer and a member of the Spanish Air Force who now is a sommelier and a wine tasting expert.
Very good.
I mean, that's
a good pedigree.
You're probably the only person in the world with that
qualification.
Yeah.
I know a person who in Catalonia who is I don't remember his name, but he studied also aeronautical engineering, and he's now making wine. He has his winery. Yes,
his own winery. Okay.
How did you get into wine tasting?
Because I realized that I didn't like the job I was doing, so I decided that it was time for a change.
I know, but what drew you? Was wine your passion?
Yes.
You love wine?
I didn't know when I was 18 years old, but then with over the years, I realized that.
Red wine or white wine?
Both.
No, but before you realized that you wanted to become a sommelier or to get into the wine business, what was your preference, red wine or white? Most women prefer white. I mean, for me, it's strange to find a woman who's a connoisseur and a real lover of red wine. I don't find many.
I love red wine and I love sparkling wine also, but I think that it depends on the moment.
But when you were 22 years old or 25 years old, did you enjoy drinking wine?
Yeah.
What kind?
All of them. Not sparkling, but yes, the red wine and white wine.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but we can talk to her every Monday. To you, this is your day. This is Juliana's.
I hate to tell you, but I don't drink wine because I became allergic to it.
All right.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it has certain things in it, tanninos or phosphates sometimes.
Sulfate.
Sulfur.
Maybe, yes.
Sulfates, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't drink wine
So
at
maybe
all.
you have to try organic wines.
No, I don't. I just don't take. I keep away from wine.
Okay.
All right. But, okay, so she lived in Paris, off and on, between Paris and London for a long, long time. And ask her how she got involved in radio.
How did you get involved in radio?
Actually, not that long ago. I have a friend, not a close friend, but she's a wonderful, wonderful woman, who is a performance poet, a writer, a clown, and a juggler. And her name is Susie Oddball. That's her stage name, pseudonym.
Yeah.
She's a very special woman. She lives in Brighton. She's originally from London. Brighton attracts creative people, artistic people. Anyway, she started 6 years ago. She started a radio station as a charity, the Brighton and Hove Community Radio. And she called me in one day because I was part of the Mad Poets Society, which she had also created.
You understand? Are you following her?
Yes.
And
What's a juggler?
A juggler, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but it has to do with circus, maybe juggler. Yes.
Malabarista?
Malabarista.
All right. That's all.
Okay.
All right. And so the Mad Poet Society, Sociedad de los Poetas Locos.
Yes. So I must have written a few pieces. And, I'd been writing for 20 years, but just creative writing, learning the art of writing. Anyway, she invited me into the studio and to read a couple of pieces that I'd written. And she said, "You've got a very good radio voice," she said. You're a natural, I quote her. And so I started to go in to this radio.
In Brighton.
As a volunteer. No,
this is in Brighton.
In Brighton, yes. And it just... and then she started coming to my home because I was travelling a lot. I wasn't... I was kind of based in Brighton rather than living in Brighton. Excuse me. And she would come to my home and she would pre-record me. And she started recording my vignettes. Now, my vignettes are my stories. And on my website, there's about 60 of them. And that's my speciality. It's writing about my life and writing about people, the characters that I meet. When they tell me their stories, then I interweave them in with my own.
What's your surname, Juliana?
Juliana Ranicar-Breese. R-A-N-I-C.
Got it.
You
I
got
found
it,
it, yeah.
yes.
I
If you Google me, I come up.
All right.
I didn't understand.
You're going to look at my website.
I'm going to try to find your blog or your website.
I haven't got a blog.
Website. Okay.
My website is Gilliana.com. Gilliana.com. And you'll see about 60 of them.
So you write about your life,
My
your
life
story,
and the
about
life of others.
of others.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're with Juliana
Yeah,
Ranicar-Breese.
There you go.
Now,
And
if
so...
you're... Wait, Judge, let me announce for a second.
Sorry.
Just for people who are curious, you can find her website, which I do recommend. It looks interesting, at Gilliana.com. Gilliana, con doble L y J al principio. Gilliana, okay, doble L en medio. El N simple hacia el final. .com, you can start sniffing around. Yeah, wow. Look at all of these little links she has here. Wow. San Francisco, 1975, part 1. San Francisco, part 2. My God. The Cat Lady of London. The Cat Lady of Orgiva.
Orgiva. This is the latest one. I've just met a tarot card reader, And I asked her, how did she get to Ochiva 5 years ago? And she told me her story, and I've written the story. I, in fact, read it in Gredos, and we have it videoed.
Okay.
And then, of course, I sent it to Simba, which means lion, by the way. And we've been in correspondence ever since. And she says, I've now inspired her.
Well, Marilu is a good subject for one of your stories.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would have to speak to her privately and find out her story.
All right.
But it would have to involve synchronicity.
Okay, ask her to explain that.
Can you explain that?
By the way, just going back, you asked me about the radio. So I've been doing radio now every Friday for about a year and a half.
You enjoy it?
I love it.
Radio's
Absolutely love it. Which is why, of course, I wanted to be on your program.
All right. I do radio and I do TV, and radio's more fun.
I've never done TV.
Well, TV, you have to sit still. You have to.
And
you
have
can't
to
move too much. They put on too much makeup.
And you also have to wear certain colors, I believe, blue or red. But
no, you don't wear green or blue. Well, it depends on
there are certain colors you don't wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. I don't know. I've never done TV. Maybe if I ever come back to Madrid, I'm sure I will. Maybe you'll invite me to your TV station.
You would look like a good tarot card reader.
Yeah, people. No, I don't do tarot, but I do meet people who do tarot, or they've been. If you read some of my stories, it's also I had a brush with witches and warlocks, and
wow.
but in the past, not now.
Okay.
They recognize me and I recognize them, but I back away from anything which is not kosher, shall we say?
Not kosher means not. How would you say it's not kosher? It's not.
It's not
Kosher
on the
is
level.
a Jewish word, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I happen to be Jewish.
You're full Jewish.
I'm Jewish, yes.
Okay.
That's why I got very interested in 1492. The year that
the Jews were expelled.
Which was the big. Well, I've written about that as well.
What happened in 1492 besides Columbus discovering America? 3 important things happened.
3 important.
Well, 4 important things happened in Spain.
Pivotal year.
Okay, I only know one.
Discovery of America.
Yes.
Oh, the conquest of Granada.
Okay.
The defeat of Granada. Yeah, by the Catholic monarchs. Number 3, Antonio de Nebrija published the first Spanish grammar.
Oh.
Yeah, the first grammar of the Spanish language was published in 1492 by Nebrija. And number 4 was the expulsion of the Jews.
And the Moors.
And the Moors. Their expulsions as well. They didn't complete it. They were the Moriscos later, 120 years later.
I thought it was the same year. Or the beginning.
I'm not sure about that. We'll have to do our homework.
What happened was the diaspora of the Jews began.
Yeah. Well, the second, from Spain. It began in 14.
From Spain.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Take a break.